Right, I think what I'll do now is cloths everywhere. We'll put cloths underneath it, we'll put a cloth above it so if it flies up we'll catch it, if it falls down we'll catch it. Cloths. We go. It is free. There's the groove that the pin should have gone into. That to me feels like it's broken. There's the ratchet mechanism, and it only applies on one side, and of course it's under tremendous pressure from a spring inside, so I'll need to reassemble that. Right, this is this tensioner mechanism, a simple piston with a spring, tapered spring I notice as well. Piston has a ratchet side on it. Then you have this small ratcheted mechanism with a slot in the back. But if you put this in the correct way, which is to say the groove's going in that direction, which means that this will prevent the piston from going back, but will allow it to slide out but not return. Now obviously this plate is a spring device to hold that in place, allow it to flex back for when the piston is moving up. But the first thing I need to do is bring that back, make sure that is holding proper tension on there. Put that in the right way round, back into there. Put the spring and piston back in, force them together, put the lock pin in there to hold it there, and that's ready for refitting. So I'm going to mess about with this in the garage a bit to try and bend that plate flat again. Then we'll drop that ratchet into place, put it all together. Right, that took about an hour to do. All back together, ready to reuse. I've rebent this bracket. To do it I had to push that rivet out, which meant pushing it through from here. Not easy at all. I did contemplate at one point replacing the rivet with a screw, tap the hole out. Unfortunately I couldn't get a metric size bolt that would fit that diameter hole. I would have either had to drill it out to a larger size or reuse the rivet, which is what I actually did. Now I'm slightly concerned that maybe that rivet isn't in hard enough. It does appear to be. It's holding the plate nice and flat, it's pretty firm in there. I managed to get the ratchet back into place. I managed to clean it all out on the inside and reassemble it with this Allen key now holding it in place, ready for refitting. T30 fits in there nicely. Where's the ratchet gone? There it is. pivot bolt. Special tools. This bracket, bear with me, has to fit over here. This bracket has to fit over here. Oh, it wasn't hard enough. There we go. Tighten the bolt. It locks those two together. T60. We've got a 1/4 inch drive on it. Great, my adapter has just sheared off. Bugger. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Sheared off the end. I'm not entirely sure that I'm going to be able to get that out of there, and I have a bigger problem to solve. Unfortunately, I did get a Volvo special tool, which is the T60. Let's try it again. That's that one loose. Go, second place. Now really, as soon as I've relieved these, there is nothing now that is holding the camshafts in place. They are completely free to rotate. So 2 centre bolts out. That should be free to move now. One off. Come on, you, out of the way. That's 2 off. Oops, daisy, cam chain out of the way. The next thing now is to remove this inner casing. Once that inner casing is out, there is then nothing holding the cam cover. The water pump at the back here, the backing plate is all part of this casing. The only thing that's holding that in place is the casing itself. So once this is unbolted and free to come forward, the pump actually pushes into a pipe behind. It's a push fit with a seal. So once this is unbolted, it should pull free this way. Barring the fact this cable will get in the way a little bit, but it should come free. It will come over this sprocket. There's a hole in the back big enough to come over the top of the sprocket, so that will stay in place. The tensioner can stay in place, and the pump can stay in place on the casing. Right, according to Volvo, only 2 bolts hold this in place. One we've already removed, which was the pinion point of the tensioner, The other one is just below the tensioner. Well. According to Volvo, that should be it. Well, that still feels pretty secure to me. Okay, we've managed to split it away at the top and at this end. Yeah, there's a spigot that it's come off of here. It will come over this sprocket without any problem, but this end I'm struggling to get it to move. It feels like it's wedged here. Now, I know from previous experience that this is because it's caught where that water pump goes in. Again, going back to Volvo's service manual or maintenance or whatever you want to call it, bolt there, nothing else. Nothing else to concern me. That's all it needs. Once those are out, it should just pull free. As I say, from experience, I knew this was... that feels rock solid. If only I could get that just to come off. Come. Jeez. Really struggling to get this casing off. It really is caught there. It doesn't seem, no matter how I twist, turn, pull, struggle, I just cannot get it to release down here. I don't know another way of doing this. I did ponder about putting some sort of something that can pull this forward, a bracket that I can put a bolt into that will push against the casing and pull this away from the casing. Couldn't find anything that would suit. I can't get in behind it to hit it or tap it, but there is no doubt that it has to come off because this is part of the cover. That's the cylinder head, that's the cover, 2 bolts holding that down, and not enough space here to lift that cover up high enough for it to clear a stud that is underneath there. In the centre of here there should be a guide pin, and I didn't think when I was pulling it apart to look for that guide pin to make sure it didn't get lost. Well, fortunately, lying on top of the gearbox I did found it. It's just a little plastic plug, got a slot into the centre of there, it slots into the centre of the pump and aligns it up as you're assembling it. But that could have been a real pain had I lost it. Well, we've pulled, we have tugged, but still I can't get that bottom corner to move. It feels absolutely solid in there. The whole car shakes, but I cannot get it out. I've spent a lot of time trying to get this to release without actually getting anywhere. And it's frustrating because I'm so close now. All I've got to do is remove this, and then I'm on to lifting the cam cover, and the cam cover is the ultimate goal. Okay, I think I've just found out what the problem is. In behind the pump there's this outlet pipe or inlet pipe, I'm not sure which, but this has a bolt on the back of it. I think it may be that's holding the whole thing together. I'm going to unscrew this clamp, remove this pipe, see if that helps. Even if it doesn't, which I don't think it will because that's pretty flexible, but it may allow me to reach in behind here and get a bolt that's on there, and hopefully if that bolt comes free, I'm hoping the whole thing will come free. Let's give it a try. bit, so drop this. Right, gonna try a socket on there. Okay, the socket is too small. Feels like a flanged bolt. Don't really want to drop it. Getting close to the end, I can feel it getting looser, and I've managed to pull it out without losing it. This could be my lucky day. Oh, on the other hand, maybe not. Well, that's made absolutely no difference whatsoever. Right, I've now finally figured out why I can't move that panel. It's because running behind the engine block along the back of the cylinder head here is one of the coolant pipes. It runs along the back and then down towards the water pump, and the pipe is slotted into. The one bolt that I have removed so far is one of 3 bolts that have to be moved. I've taken obviously that one bolt out. There's another bolt behind here which is actually missing. There isn't a bolt there, and there's a final one just here. It really is quite tucked in at the back. I can't get the camera in to look at it, but I will get a spanner now to lift this bolt off, and then I should be able to move that pipe enough to get it out of the water pump at the back there and be able to lift this case free. Right, after much levering about by getting a screwdriver in there, putting it under the plate where the pipe goes into the water pump, and using it to lever the pipe out, or the connection out, I've eventually got it free. Don't know if you can see that, but that's the pipe now free. To do it, I had to put a bolt back into here to hold it all flat and level to remove that pipe. Now I can take that bolt back out again. This case should now come off at long last. It should be that one there. There we go, free. Pray for me, Allah. Pray for me. And yet, we're still stuck. Let's make sure that is free. Can't believe it, it's still stuck. It still will not come free. Do you know what, actually I don't care. It's just occurred to me, I should be able to get this gasket out now. Come on. But at least I can get that cover off now. Oh, great, thanks. That looks to me, that's split. That's cracked away. Great. Oh no, 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 more bloody problems. Damn. Damn, damn, damn. Oh. Have you ever wished you hadn't started a job? I can now get access to these 2 bolts. To undo them, there's enough room to lift that cover off. So we're now on to the last job of lifting this cover.